I didn't realize how long I was looking at other things, and I looked down, and it's almost 12:30. Oh, damn! I should probably get a show set up.
Yeah, well, losing track of time is part of the fun, right?
And this is that show. This is Monkey in the Morning. I'm Monkey's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how you doing, my friend?
Oh, not getting anything accomplished, trying hard. The usual.
Went out and did my shopping today, and for the first time in like the last 3, by the end of it, I wasn't like praying for death because of the pain I was in. It was actually pretty good. So I had a really, really good day. Didn't sleep much last night because I sat here in pain for that, but that's not worth talking about. And then I got some really good sleep, and here we are. So we're gonna laugh at Don Lemon some more tonight because oh, what a moron. Before we get to that, we need to talk about the fact that Lamont died.
Yeah.
What's his I forget his real name. Shit. The actor who played Lamont on Sanford and Son passed away, and that sucks. I am a big fan of Sanford and Son. Not as big a fan as my brother and his sons. He got his sons who are right now in their 20s. They were huge Sanford and Son fans. So they're growing up in like the 2000s and the 2010s as Sanford and Son fans, which I always thought was really cool. That it resonated with them that many years after it was relevant.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed that show. It's silly humor and Fred being just mad at the world all the time. Especially as I get older, that resonates with me.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can relate a lot more to the curmudgeons.
Never seen a single episode. I understand. Not everybody's cup of tea, but yeah, it's sad. And thanks for the memories. Also, Catherine O'Hare died.
Yeah.
Like another one. Thanks for the memories. These are people I grew up watching, and yeah, it sucks. Mainly because that means I'm getting closer to the grave, man. Is that too selfish?
No, because she was like in her 30s when we were watching Home Alone.
Right. Yeah. You killed her. It wasn't me. I was awake. When that news came through, I was awake. You can't blame that. Demond Wilson, thank you. Or Demond Wilson. I'm not sure how you say it. Yeah, that was Lamont. Lamont. I loved that show, and him playing the straight man to Red Fox was brilliant. It was so well done. Him trying to be the one to it was kind of like Archie Bunker, except for Meathead actually was an idiot and Lamont wasn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was an actually good show. If you guys get bored and see it on streaming service, check it out. So all right, Jack, let's jump into our nonsense of the day, shall we?
Yeah, I've actually got a thing here that kind of would be a good lead in if you don't mind looking at it.
What is it? There it is. Okay. Yeah. What are we expecting here?
This is somebody that claims to be a lawyer explaining something.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of lawyers recently who
they crawl out of the woodwork like the ambulance chaser or something.
This is Gene Parmesan. Gene Parmesan here says, lawyer here. If you record yourself committing a crime, you cannot be charged with that. What? If you record yourself committing a crime, you cannot be charged with that crime. It's called the Fifth Amendment. You have a right against self-incrimination. You do not have a right against self-incrimination when you upload it to the internet. Even if you want to take that tact, right? That would only matter if you kept that video secret to yourself.
Yes, and you had it safely stored, so they had to get a warrant to get it. If you film yourself committing a crime, you're dumb because you're breaking your own Fifth Amendment capabilities.
Real quick, it was Jessica's birthday a couple days ago. Let's get this for her. Jessica, this is for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jessica. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Happy birthday. I hope you have a good or had a good one. I really, really do. All right.
Indeed.
So let's explain your Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, right? So when you get arrested, they tell you have the right to remain silent. That is part of the self-incrimination thing.
Yeah.
So you have a right to keep your mouth shut. And there's a reason that lawyers tell you, hey, keep your fucking mouth shut. Not just in the interview with the police, but when you come out and you go on a podcast or anything, they're like, don't talk about the case. You know why? Because you can fucking incriminate yourself still.
Yeah, you can accidentally incriminate yourself because it happens all the time. People get nervous, they say something that gets distorted a little bit or misunderstood, and next thing you know, you're facing a murder charge.
Yeah,
You know, it's pretty easy.
you can absolutely incriminate yourself. You can't be compelled by the state to incriminate yourself.
Yeah.
That's what the Fifth Amendment is.
Yeah, you have a right to do it whenever you're interviewed by the police, whether you're arrested or not. If you've been detained, you can refuse to answer questions. You don't have to answer questions of any authority figure. You can just say, I refuse to answer questions on the grounds of my Fifth Amendment right.
Oh,
And I would like an attorney present for any questioning.
I didn't even read this user note here, the community note here. The Fifth Amendment protection is only against compelled testimony. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you record yourself, even if you were taking their tact with it, well, you recorded yourself, so that's self-incrimination. Okay, but then he put it on the internet. That blows that shit out of the water.
The fact they recorded it blows it out of the water. It's
So-
kind of hard to be like, I didn't do it when you're on video doing it.
Cirque says this guy is a Poe, and I hope so, because otherwise that's just retarded.
I thought it was a fun hot take that would kind of lead into, because it would perfectly exemplify a lot of the people we're seeing.
Sure.
So I figured it was a Poe, but I thought it was funny. So yeah, don't get it twisted, guys. I laughed pretty heavily at this one.
All right, let's bring this up on the screen. This is the indictment against not just Don Lemon, but everybody they could name that was at the protest.
Oh, can we call them Lemon and the Juices?
Lemon and the Juices, yes. Lemon and the Juices as they went to their protest at a church.
Idiots.
You know, I'm going to say this. I do not think Don Lemon meant to violate this law. I don't think he knew it was a law.
Even if he did, I think he's pretty stupid. So
True.
It's hard to tell if he did it intentionally or because he's a dumbass.
They meant to interrupt the church service, but because FACE, even the name of FACE, what is it? It's basically the access to abortion clinic law. I forget what it's the exact acronym stands for, but everybody knows this as the abortion clinic law. This is about not blocking abortion clinics, and it gets very little press about the church part of it.
Yeah.
So these idiots just didn't know it was an issue. And they're like, and you can see it when Don Lemon is interviewing the pastor. And by interviewing, I mean basically kidnapping the guy and making him force questions he shouldn't have to be annoyed with at that moment.
Yeah.
He said, we have a free speech right. No, you don't. What you guys were doing was an actual crime.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. That's why that post is so funny, because people like Don Lemon actually think that they're above the rules.
Yeah.
They think that he thinks that he has special standing to ignore other people's right to privacy or right to worship. He honestly seems to think that he has that ability to just be a total jackass to whoever he wants and should be able to get away with it.
So this is a 2-count indictment, and there's the main count, and then there is the conspiracy count, because they did conspire to violate the FACE Act, and then there's the violation of the FACE Act, which again is why Lauren Handy got 41 months, even though the FACE Act says 36 months is the maximum.
Yeah.
Well, because she got 36 months for the FACE Act violation, and then she got an additional, what is it? I got to do math
12.
in my head. 5 months for the conspiracy side of it.
Real quick. Thank you, Evolved Potato. I just watched Nate the Lawyer video on Preddy, and oh my God, some of that analysis is crazy. He shows a video of something, but says the exact opposite happens. I've never seen his video before. Not a good introduction. Yeah, unfortunately, that seems to be a trend these days.
Look, I'm gonna be on. There's sometimes I like Nate's takes, and there's times where I've been like, he's just wrong. And so far, I am 1-0 in being right when I say he's wrong. We'll find out with the Preddy thing, because I think I'm gonna be 2-0 in this. Because like in his analysis, he's like, nobody was blocking the street. When you can clearly see there's a car right in front of the ICE agent refusing to move.
Yeah.
And then they finally slowly pull away. You're supposed to check your money hole, bud.
I just read it.
Oh, is that the one? Okay.
Yeah.
Nate is trying to go really hard in on this being an unjustified shooting. And I think he's seen things. Even if you don't like the shooting, you don't think it should have escalated to where it did. This is still a clean shoot. And Nate's take is that since the officer had no right to be moving that lady out of the street, then everything he does after that is assault. He assaults these people over and over and over again. So Alex coming in and putting his hands on the cop is not an issue. It's self-defense.
Yeah, it's reaching to try and force it into the narrative he wants it to be.
Yeah.
Look, this whole thing was just a complete clusterfuck of a mess. Everybody made mistakes. And unfortunately, not every tragedy is a crime. Sometimes people get hurt and it's nobody's fault because of the confluence of events. If anything, if the first shooter was the cop that was behind Preddy, who saw him get disarmed, that's probably the only person they could even remotely charge.
Sure.
And even then, I don't think it's going to hold up because you don't know if he's got a second weapon or not. And unfortunately, this is just a tragedy for everybody involved. Those guys have to live with the fact that they shot an unarmed man, and Preddy's dead because of his own poor life choices.
One of the things I've seen is because there's two possible, when we're talking about where that first shot comes from, the two most likely sources are the gun that's taken off of Preddy or that officer that's standing behind him.
Yeah.
The officer standing behind him, he saw him take that gun. Even if he's looking in that way, it doesn't mean he actually saw the guy pull the gun out. You hear them yell, gun, 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 and you see Preddy reach for where his gun was.
Yeah.
Is that justification to shoot him immediately? No. But everybody's once again doing this like in really slow motion.
Yeah.
Preddy doesn't get hit by that first shot if it came from that officer, because we would have seen it hit him. We'd have seen something from him to indicate that he was hit. And we just don't see that. So if that first shot never happens, none of the other ones do. Preddy gets another arrest for assaulting a police officer, or gets one. I don't know if he has four. He's been violent before. He should have been arrested at that one 11 days earlier where he kicked the car and broke the light.
Yeah, but it saved his life.
It would have, yeah. And to whatever person decided not to arrest him, good job out there in Minnesota. You got your little moron killed. But yeah, Nate's take on this has been trash. And as Faithless said a moment ago, this was ugly but clean. It was, and that's a sad reality of it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we've seen these kind of instances before where it just is a messy situation, and nobody's going to go to jail because of the misunderstanding of the events.
Sure.
It's not a criminal act. It's just an ugly mess.
The worst you can get him on maybe is some reckless endangerment, or real stretch would be involuntary.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be able to prove involuntary even.
Well, because there's nothing. Police are allowed to draw their guns when there's shit going down.
Yeah, and he was resisting arrest. He was armed.
Yes.
There was enough information there to make them think their life was in danger. And the guy did not comply at all. So it's just an ugly, messy situation, and there's no way around that. But there's no malice here. They weren't out hunting people down. They didn't shoot him and then start gunning down random citizens.
It wasn't the execution, some keep calling it, or the murder. It just wasn't.
And calling it a murder is just ginning up more fear.
So the charges against Lemon specifically are conspiracy to violate FACE and the violation of the FACE Act. He's facing a year, maybe a little bit more because of the conspiracy, maybe up to 2 years in jail for it. Is he going to get it? Probably not. This isn't a federal court, but it's going to be in a Los Angeles federal court. It's going to be a Los Angeles. What's that?
Minnesota? You said Los Angeles.
Isn't that where they're doing it?
I don't know. I thought they were doing it in the
well, he was arrested out there. Okay, so I'm not. Yeah, it probably in in a Minnesota court. Same thing. It's highly liberal. There's been so much press about it. Where oh my god, I can't believe it. The chance of a jury finding him guilty pretty slim. But if I'm being honest and I'm his lawyer, I don't take that chance. I go make a deal for a suspended sentence on a no contest plea. That's what I would do, because otherwise, you're going to end up. As much as we look at this and look at our court system and stuff and go, hey, this jury in this place is going to let him off. We've seen many times where that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's a roll of the dice on a situation like this.
And if you're his lawyer, I get it, Don. You want to go out there and fight and go, I didn't do it. If you're actually giving him good advice, if the prosecutor comes to him with a decent deal, no jail time, you take that shit.
Oh, yeah, and the feds love to deal. They bumped this down to like a misdemeanor and maybe a little bit of jail time or supervised probation or something. I think he would jump on that.
I think that they will insist on it being a violation of the FACE Act. And the reason for that is for what if he ever does it again, because the sentence triples if it's a second offense.
Yeah.
But you can do it with, hey, you're going to plead no contest to this. We'll give you a 6-month suspended sentence. Don't break the law and you're fine. Well, the Luigi guy's judge got some of his charges dropped. I don't even want to talk about that.
That was so enraging.
I don't even want to talk about that. I am so angry at that. Jack, Don Lemon, after he got out of the clink, he gave a statement. He gave us a statement, and it wasn't, "Ooh boy, I had so much fun last night," although that's probably in there too.
It's in the penumbra.
What you can't see in this still picture is the cross he brought with him to nail himself on.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And as we've all learned, getting that last nail in is very difficult.
It's a real bitch. Glasses. Oh, he just said I need sunglasses. That's all you missed there.
How are you? Wow. Can everybody hear me? Are you guys set? Everybody ready? So look, I want to thank everybody for their support. It truly means the world to me.
Don, the amount of support I've given you has been from the heart. I hope you know that. I've meant every word I've said, and I'm glad it's resonating with you.
Yeah. Along with my hope that when they're investigating this, they find out you did some other like horrific crimes, and they could charge you with those too. That'd really make my week, Don.
Yeah, because he recorded all of this, his computer, his camera, all of that shit should have been seized.
Yep.
Dumbass.
I have no idea what's going on because
My 13-year-old self almost came out. Let me use a different word. Bitch, please.
I don't know what's going on. I'm being persecuted by evil white racists.
You have no idea what's going on. You made a video the other day when they were trying to charge you, explaining that you didn't really do anything. You know what the situation is here. I don't know what's going on. This hit me right out of the blue. Ah, this man is such a lying piece of shit.
Yeah, we've known that for a long time, sadly.
obviously I haven't seen.
Well, the other thing about Don Lemon, and this is something you have to know about Don Lemon. Don Lemon is an idiot. I mean, he's an actual idiot. I'd like to go back to the gun argument he had because it's just such a great example. So for those of you guys who didn't see it, he's having a debate on CNN with a guy about the difference between semi-automatic and automatic guns. And he uses the phrase, I am not kidding, fully semi-automatic. Fully semi-automatic. And when somebody explains to him the difference between a fully automatic and a semi-automatic, he actually says, hey, that's just semantics. The difference from pulling the trigger for every bullet and just holding the button down as it fires repeatedly is just semantics.
Yeah, just like misdemeanors aren't real crimes, and maybe that airplane went through a black hole.
Blaze, it was your birthday, turned 14, Jack.
Wow.
Tell your dad not to let you watch the rest of the show because at 14, there's a lot of words and stuff that you'll pick up from me that I don't want to be responsible for you learning.
Yeah, and any words you pick up from me, I'm blaming on Monkey.
But Blaze, this one's for you. And a 1, and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Blaze. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Hope you had a good one, kiddo. Man, 14 was a horrible year for me. I don't even want to talk about it. There's that literally the worst year of my life, Jack.
Yeah.
So far, I should say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's that.
At 14, he probably knows them. He probably does. I mean, the internet exists. Yeah. When I was a kid, we learned at public school. Now you can just go on the internet and learn all the fun words.
Oh, the internet has made it so much easier to access everything. Like you could go see all the porn you want. Back then, we had to find somebody who had an older brother that would steal their Playboys or penthouses from their dad's stash, or had a connection. You know, now it's just you get something 1,000 times better for free.
The reality of Don Lemon, though, is he is a complete moron. Like
black holes, dude. Black holes.
So when he comes out here and says things like, I don't even know what's going on, it can be believable.
Yeah.
But he's also a liar. So in this case, he's lying. He knows exactly what's going on. But him playing stupid is just so believable. If he hadn't have made a video explaining this just like 2 days before this, I don't even know what's going on here.
I don't even know what's happening. I'm not even supposed to be here today. And he's wearing his Harry Potter glasses too.
You know what I love at this, with the way his head is down here, you can see he's balding.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This vain motherfucker balding is funny. We told you before, if you're a man and you're balding, just fucking embrace it. It's fine. You'll be fine.
You'll be okay. It's not so bad. Just let it happen. But the people that fight it are the worst because they will do anything to keep that back. Just ask Hassan.
Okay.
Anything. I've spent my entire career covering it. Thank everybody for their support. It truly means the world to me. I have no idea what's going on because obviously I haven't seen anything.
I what he means here is he thanks everybody. This is actually dumber than it sounds because he thanks everybody for their support and then goes, I haven't seen any of it because I've been in jail. So what support are you thankful for? This is why I made the joke earlier about he's welcome for all of my support.
Yeah.
Because he's such an idiot. Anyway.
I have spent my entire career covering the news.
No, you were supposed to have spent your whole career delivering the news. I cover the news, asshole. Those are different.
I think he meant covering up the news.
That could be it too. You might be right because that would actually be more honest. But it's Don, so it's not.
I will not stop now.
Nobody has a problem with you covering the news. I mean, not legally. We'll make fun of you for how badly you do it. You were arrested for being part of a protest that interrupted a church service, sir. I don't even know how to deal with how disconnected what he just said is from the charges against him.
Well, like you said, he's pretty stupid, so.
In fact,
Yeah, cheer that on.
there
Yeah.
is no more important time than right now, this very moment, for a free and independent media that shines a light on the truth and holds those in power accountable. Again,
You went to a church where you accosted a pastor and some children.
It's just part of spreading the news, monkey. Terrifying little kids is all part of the plan.
He was just speaking truth to power.
Yeah, that kid had a lot of power. He might have voted for Trump. He could have been a midget.
He was holding them to account because the powerful. That's what I was doing. Yeah. This guy's such a dick.
and I will not stop now. I will not stop ever.
Don, can you do me a favor? Can you
Stop.
repeat what you did at that church, at another church? Please?
That'd be super.
Because that would bump you from a year to 3 years, which would just make me happy.
Well, he is the type that would do that too, just to be spiteful and stick it to the man. Of fighting the orange man by bothering people at church.
Last night, the DOJ sent a team of federal agents to arrest me in the middle of the night.
That's the only thing I will give him some measure of credit for. We've talked before about the police going at night. This wasn't a no-knock warrant kind of thing, but you guys can arrest people during the day when there's less chance of shit going down. I really don't like when they do that shit. And it's not.
I get that.
This is just proof that my beliefs don't depend on. Look, I'm glad his sleep got interrupted because fuck this guy. But seriously, you guys could have just gone and got him the next day. Let him wake up, get some breakfast, and rest his ass then.
Now, to be fair, I have a theory on why it happened that way.
Go ahead.
Okay. So a couple of cops are sitting around going, do you think, Lemon's gay, right? Yeah. Do you think he does what my wife does and puts that weird cucumber cream on his face before he goes to bed? I don't know. How can we test that? Let's go arrest him at 3 a.m. Then we'll see.
Less likely to have a crowd interfering. True, but look, this is Don Lemon. They could have called his lawyer and said, have him turn himself in, and he would have. And I don't think you have to do that. But Don Lemon was at a ritzy hotel, and he was there covering the Grammys because as a gay man, that's his obligation. And they could have got him that morning at the hotel. There wouldn't have been an issue. If they tried arresting him on the street at, one of these protests that he's covering, I'm using air quotes, then sure. Crowd could have got involved, but I mean, they arrested him at his hotel. They could have done it in the morning. They could have done it earlier in the evening, waited for him when he gets back from whoever he was sucking off. They did. You don't got to do it in the middle of the night, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think the real probability is that they were trying to avoid a spectacle He seems like the
Maybe.
kind of guy that would create a fiasco. Like if you ask him to turn himself in, he's going to have a bunch of his buddies from the press there, making it look like he's doing this somber walk.
Thank you, Toasted. Is that a punishment? Don will enjoy prison. I mean, yeah, we've talked about that. It's the Kevin Malone thing. You don't know about prison? Oh, you would love prison.
Yeah, all his grandstanding too. He's gonna not like that. He's like Jim Acosta. He needs a crowd.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, he says this like that's not when a lot of arrests are done. I mean, come on, bro. But again, I don't like that when it's done like that.
For something that I've been doing for the last 30 years.
Yeah, being an asshole. I get you.
I'll give you $1 if you can show me one other time where you interrupted a church service, sir.
I'm wondering how many times he's covered something that he's helped conspire with.
I guarantee you, if you work for a news agency, right? Like when he worked for CNN, and if he went to clear this, hey, I'm going to go to this protest with these folks, and they ran it past legal, they would have been like, no, you're not. Because those lawyers know the laws, or they'd look it up to make sure that he wasn't doing something that was going to get them in trouble. But now that he's out on his own, he doesn't have that kind of resource behind him.
Well, he doesn't have that kind of control where somebody might actually stop him. But at CNN, I don't know that they would actually, like, maybe they have good lawyers, but maybe he just does shit and they're like, oh, well, he already did it.
Anthro, thank you so much. He says, Don Lemon, the type to drop the soap on purpose. Indeed. He's just in there. My soap fell. But I've been doing this for 30 years. This is a very specific thing. And by the way, Don, if you can, seriously, I will give you $1 if you can show me where you did this very thing one time in the last 30 years besides this one. And I say that because I would like to give that to Harmeet Dillon as more proof of you breaking those laws. Does he realize he just said that I've been breaking the law all this time?
Again, that's why you don't make statements. Look, I can't talk about what's going on because of I'm in legal trouble. So I'm just going to let my lawyer make statements. I have no comments at this time. But he can't help himself.
The narrative out there is that he was arrested for journalism. He wasn't. There's not a single point in that indictment. I did read the indictment. There's not a single point where they went, he journalismed.
Yeah.
They actually point out all the shit that he was doing. That isn't journalism. Once again, even
so hard.
Even going with them, if he'd kept his fucking mouth shut and just recorded, he'd probably be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But he can't help himself. His ego's on the line.
A reminder that the FACE Act does not require intimidation, because there's a lot of people, he intimidated them. Doesn't matter if they were intimidated. It is part of the FACE Act.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that is most important is interfered, which he 100% did. He interviewed a pastor during service. He forced a microphone into this guy's face during service. You can't argue that that's not interfering with it. Anyway, unless the pastor said, hey, does anybody have questions? Want to come up here and interview me?
Yeah.
The pastor asked him to leave. The pastor asked the people to leave and they didn't. And then when he's talking with Don, he says, I asked them to leave and I'm asking you to leave. And he didn't. This is open and shut.
I have a right to do this, man.
Covering the news. The First Amendment of the Constitution protects that work for me and for countless of other journalists.
Hey, Don, let's say you and I get together and you'll do some journalism with me. We're going to go into an abortion clinic. And I'm going to just walk in. I'm not going to touch anybody. I'm going to walk in and just stand in the way so that people can't get to the back. You want to go with me and tell them how they deserve it? You want to tell them, hey, if you're going to kill babies, this is the kind of thing you can expect. Want to? I mean, you've already got one charge. I'd only be on my first offense. What you think? No?
Who do what I do. I stand with all of them, and I will not be silenced. I look forward to my day in court. Thank you all.
Okay, Don. You look forward to your day in court and you won't be silenced. I'll make you a bet. I bet you won't testify. Because if you have a lawyer worth of shit, he won't let you testify.
Yeah.
But I bet you won't testify. Anyway, there's his statement, Jack. And his statement isn't as interesting as some of the ones that have come around it. We can get rid of that.
Ew, come around Don Lemon. Ew.
We're going to start with Eli Menstrual over here.
I hate this guy so much.
Me too. But we have to watch his statement here. Now, for the record, I haven't watched it. I just saw the tweet that came along with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, that sounds like Eli.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I found it too.
I mean, his name is literally Eli. He's on the internet lying. He's an electronic liar these days. He's always been a liar, but that's what he does.
I do like that he cut his hair a little bit so it doesn't look so much like Gary Spivey.
I like that he's growing out his facial hair because he's like me and he's got that really chunky jawline. And it just makes him look this makes him look more like a human.
A grown-up?
Yeah. If I trim my beard down too much, it's like, where did his chin go?
I just look like I'm 12.
It is an expression of white supremacy. And so when I look for constitutional justification for these arrests, it's obviously not in the Constitution.
There is nothing in the Constitution to justify an arrest for murder. Fuck are you talking about, homie? The Constitution doesn't lay out our criminal laws, you moron.
Yeah, that's the criminal code.
I don't see justification for this in the Constitution. It's
Well,
not where you should be looking, dickhead. You should be looking in 18 USC. What is it, 248 or 245?
Well, it also doesn't say that he can do this in the Constitution.
The hair pick stuck in it at random, like he lost it. That was a style back in the mid 90s.
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s.
When he's a
lasted
young
for
man.
several years.
Yeah. The part that bothers me about it is that his hair isn't picked right. I mean, look how uneven his fro is.
Oh, especially on the screen left where you got that little tuft just wandering off there.
Yeah.
No, the reason he has that is because it has the Black Power fist on it.
70s. If they did it in the 70s, I mean, by the end of the 70s, I'm only 5. I see it in the 90s there's tons of rap videos where you see guys with their pick in their hair.
Yeah, it's probably part of that retro 70s thing
Yeah,
that
probably.
happened for a while.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's obviously not in the Constitution anymore.
What? I don't see a justification for this arrest anymore.
No, see, this is some outdated shit, man. You gotta let it go. This is white supremacy. Trying to keep a black man out of a white people church.
Well, I've read the tweet, so I know what he's getting ready to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was something in the original Constitution that would have allowed them to arrest a black journalist like Don Lemon.
No, there wasn't. Connect, thank you. Where is your Hunter debate? I think the Hunter debate on our side of it got deleted with a whole bunch that I had to get rid of when YouTube was taking channels down because of some things we may have said about election stuff. So there's 3 months that just got straight deleted. You can find it. Oh, what's her name? Shit. Oh, I can't think of her name right now. But there's somebody who covered it, and if you skip her talking points of it, you can still watch the whole debate. Just look up Ranting Monkey versus Hunter Avalon. It's out there still.
It might still be on Hunter's channel too, because
Could
he
be.
was
Well,
streaming it too, or until he pussed out and ran away, and we laughed at him.
he got his ass whipped, so I don't know if he kept that up. Anyway,
And that was called the Fugitive Slave Clause.
do you mean the Fugitive Slave Act?
Yeah, and that was an act. It wasn't part of the Constitution,
No, it wasn't.
and it would not apply to this unless they were running through the church while escaping.
Yeah, the Fugitive Slave Clause. I am 50 years old, been in politics for at least 35 of that, Jack. I've never heard that phrase, not one time, because it was the Fugitive Slave Act, you fucking moron.
Yeah.
I missed the clips where you made Sinatra laugh so hard. Thank you, Corey. That was in the debate with Ufio, and I couldn't find that on my channel when I went to look for it one time, like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know what happened to it.
That was in the middle of a stream.
Yeah, I know, but
I think it's still up, but I know the clip's floating around because I've retweeted it a few times.
the
I
stream
have the
itself,
clip
though,
somewhere.
the stream itself was specifically me, Sinatra, and Ufio. It wasn't like that just came out of nowhere. It was set up for that.
Yeah, that was before I was on the show, so that'd have been 6 or 7 years ago, at least.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it was that long ago.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'd have been
No.
in there laughing too, because I was in the chat at the time.
All right.
In Article 4 of the original Constitution, which allowed the government to reclaim escaped property should that property have successfully made it to a free state. It is an expression of white supremacy. And so when I
what does that have to do? Let's for argument's sake say everything he just said is true. Sure. What does that have to do with arresting Don Lemon? Did Don Lemon get arrested for running to Minnesota from California? Did I miss that part?
Maybe.
I'm fairly certain that that's not part of it. I mean,
Yeah, again, going to a church service would not have violated the Fugitive Slave Act. He's such a moron.
I get what he's going for here because he's a douchebag.
Yeah, but it's such a pathetic argument.
Yeah. The original thing says no person held to service or labor in one state under the laws thereof, escaping to another, shall, in consequence of any law or regulation therein, be discharged from such service or labor, but shall be delivered upon claim of the property to whom the service or labor may be due, which is what leads us to the Fugitive Slave Act, which allowed for the capture and return of them. Which has literally nothing to do with Don Lemon breaking into a church. Frankly, if I'm Harmeet and them, I hit these guys with unlawful restraint.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was a period where people could not get out of the church because these folks were blocking the door and people were trying to get out of the church. So it's not like theoretically they could have been blocking it.
Yeah.
I would have hit these people with so many more charges. The one that wouldn't be there is fugitive slave.
Well, it's been repealed and removed from the Constitution.
Hey, Eli, if I may call you that. That white guy who got arrested it wasn't along with Lemon because he actually was arrested a couple days earlier when the original charges against Lemon should have gone. Was he just arrested for being a fugitive slave? Because I feel like if the black guy was only arrested because of the Fugitive Slave Act and they did the same thing, then the white guy had to have been arrested because of being a fugitive slave. right?
Is he Irish?
Don't put that on us.
Oh. Well, I
Don't
mean,
put
look,
that on us.
indentured servants, you know.
Hmm. Which, by the way, that section of the Constitution in Article 4 also dealt with those people. It wasn't. That's why the Fugitive Slave Act becomes a thing.
Yeah, you heard it. Those people. Monkey's talking about the Irish again.
My people, I'm allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm only doing this one because I haven't watched any of it. This is because of the title. It's about intimidating the free press. Attorney reacts to Don Lemon arrest. And this is over there on MSNBC, now called MS Now, because they were so bad at their job, they had to rebrand a network news. Which, honestly, I didn't think, I hadn't put thought into it, but as I think back, if you would have told me, say 5 years ago, that MSNBC would be so bad they had to completely rebrand and rename themselves, I'd have been like, come on, man, it's 2020. They just keep lying. In an age where people put up with such bad media that they had to rename is chef's kiss. Dear God, you guys suck, and thank you for proving it. The press are not a separate and above entity, but they think they are. They think they are. I mean, there's countless examples of this kind of stuff. Look at, we watched Mika Brzezinski or whatever her fucking name is. I married a intern killer, whatever. When she said Donald Trump thinks it's his job to tell you what to think, and that's our job. That is, look, this is how much smarter than you I am. I get to tell you what to think. I'm better than you. You know, Anna Kasparian gets a lot of shit for that I'm better than you, but it literally is how 99% of the media think of themselves.
Yeah.
When I talk to you guys, I don't think I'm better than you. I think I'm, in many cases, more informed on some topics, and then I give you that information. And I think you're smart enough. Yeah, I think you guys are smart enough to look at that information and make a decision. The press doesn't do that. They tell you what you're supposed to think, and then if you're lucky, they might give you some of the information about it because they think they're better than you. They think and they think that applies legally. They think it applies morally, and they're just bad. You think you're better than everyone? Me? No, I know I'm better than you. I'm not better than everyone, though, Darth.
Our reporters and analysts. Let's bring in MS Now reporter Alex Tabbitt in Minneapolis.
I was kidding for anybody who's just new here. Like, why does he hate Darth? I don't hate Darth. I just realized how that came off when I just let it sit. I was like, oh shit. Okay.
I was gonna make a Canada joke, but I just sat here quietly.
Anyway.
MS Now White House reporter Jake Traylor, former U.S. attorney and MS Now legal analyst Joyce Vance, and former ICE chief of staff Jason Hauser. Alex, President Trump attacking Alex Preddy as federal agents arrest journalist Don Lemon. What do we know?
Donald Trump attacked the dead guy?
That's how they're framing it, of course. You know, nothing like poisoning the well in the very setup to the segment here.
Well, Anna, we know that last night, former CNN anchor and journalist Don Lemon was arrested by federal agents on charges that he violated federal law during a protest here in the Twin Cities on January 18th. On January 18th, Lemon reported on a protest at the city's church in St. Paul.
You lie. Did you see what they just did there?
Yep.
He reported on a protest. No, he didn't. He joined a protest, and that is important.
He was participating in a protest, posing as a journalist.
Where an ICE official serves as a pastor. Now, we know that 3 other people who disrupted that same church service have also been arrested. And
there's like 9 of them named in the indictment. Where is that list? Hang on a second, folks.
We're
Here's
doing
the
it live.
full list of people indicted. Nakima Chantil, spelled a lot like Tylenol. William, Don, Jerome, Jamal, Tayrern. Fuck, who is naming these people? Georgia and Ian. So what? Hey, I was right. That's 9. At the time of the report that we're watching, the indictment, I don't think had been unsealed yet, because if it had, he did say arrested, the people who've been arrested. So maybe they haven't all been rounded up yet. They will be, though, which will be funny. Hey, Don, I got a video for you to watch for when your friends get arrested. You can grab them by the waist and run off with them.
According to a DHS spokesperson, Don Lemon is being charged with conspiracy to deprive rights and violation of the of FACE. That means interfering by force of someone's First Amendment rights. Now, I want
not just of their First Amendment rights, their First Amendment right to worship in peace. Why do you leave that part out? Because it's MS Now.
I want to read you a statement, rather, from Don Lemon's lawyer. It reads, quote,
We heard that
"We'll
already.
fight these charges
This is kind of their first official response or reaction to the arresting of Lemon. They posted a photo of Lemon that is a photo of him inside the church with the caption, Don Lemon arrested. And then the actual caption of the post says, when life gives you lemons, and then a chain emoji following.
Lemon bars.
Oh, shit. That's funny.
Go back briefly. This is a relationship between President Trump and Don Lemon that has long been continued.
A grand jury was impaneled because the judge refused to sign off the warrants for his arrest. Trump had nothing to do with this. Harmeet Dillon hit the internet before Trump said shit about this.
Yep. As soon as it happened, she was out there saying, we're looking into this.
Yeah. The idea that Trump hates Don Lemon. Yeah, he does. And with good cause, frankly. And Don Lemon hates Trump for no real reason. Neither of those things are important here.
Donald Trump is a lot like John Hamm's character on Mad Men in that elevator scene. Like, I think about you all the time. I don't think about you at all. I guarantee you that Donald Trump gets mad for about 5 seconds and then goes on to something else and ignores Don Lemon until his name's brought up again.
Yeah, they did the same thing with like Rosie O'Donnell, because every so often Donald Trump will make a joke about her. Like he is obsessed with Rosie. No, if you go back and look, most of the time that there was interactions between the two of them is because that bitch said something and he responded and then he let it go.
Yeah, and then somebody will ask him about it, and he'll make a comment about how fat she is. And that's it. He doesn't say anything unless she starts something or somebody brings her up.
Trump is not sitting around just stewing that Don Lemon exists.
Just over the past week since the protest and the church that Lemon was a part of, the president wasn't as direct.
Wait a second. Listen to what he said.
President Trump and Don Lemon, that has long been contentious. Over the past week since the protest and the church that Lemon was a part of, the protest
that Lemon was a part of?
What?
Oopsie. Little Freudian slip there, my friend.
wasn't as direct in language, but reposted a multiple Truth Social post online calling for the arrest of Lemon. And of course, we're seeing that take place now.
It wasn't as direct, but he kind of sort of said it on Truth Social. Why don't you pull up one of those Truth Social things?
No, we're not going to do that. That would disprove our point, Monkey.
But this is what they do. And look, it is not above Trump to be like, that guy needs arrested.
Yeah, he says shit like that all the time. He's probably taking a shit and fucking around on Truth or Twitter and like, yeah, that guy's an asshole.
I know for a fact that that didn't happen, because if it had, they would have put it on the screen right here.
Yep.
I don't even have to go look. I'm gonna
Of
now,
course
but
not.
because maybe he did. Maybe this is the one time where they've been telling these lies leading up to this that they didn't have some kind of proof and use it.
Sure, monkey. Maybe unicorns will fly past.
They infer, they don't cite. True. That
Yeah.
happens a lot in media.
Unfortunately. I'm sure that Trump follows Harmeet on X, and he saw what was going on, saw what she said. He's like, yeah, arrest him. That's probably as close as you're getting.
Which is different, because if she's already looking into it, it's not him telling her to go do it, which is the clear implication.
Yeah, and her job is being the head of the Civil Rights Division. If anybody's going to know that this is a legal violation of the FACE Act, it's her. Also, she does some really good knitting work on her X channel. So if you're into knitting, she does a lot of it when she's traveling.
Before anybody in the administration had a chance to point out that this was a violation of the FACE Act, it was on social media going, they're violating the FACE Act here.
Yeah.
These guys keep acting like it was just Donald out to get Don. He hates him because he only has 3 letters instead of the full Donald.
Imagine being jealous of Don Lemon. Ugh.
Don Ronaldo Lemon, by the way.
His middle name's Ronaldo?
Ronaldo.
That is way too cool of a name for Don Lemon.
Don Ronaldo sounds like a Spanish mob boss.
Yeah, way too cool for Don Lemon. I'd highly expect for the president to post something on True Social, more particularly noted to Lemon later on today. But this is the first.
So what you just said about him posting about this, that you tell us, not directly, you were lying. And now you're reporting on what you expect. He just reported on what he expects Donald Trump to do.
It was an unfulfilled wish, Monkey. That's all.
First comment we're seeing from the White House just moments ago, this image of Lemon and the caption, "When life gives you lemons."
You do realize that the White House account is run by the press office and not the president?
No, Monkey. Orange Man's behind it all.
Joyce, let me read the post from Attorney General Pam Bondi this morning. She writes, at my direction, early this morning, federal agents arrested Don Lemon, Traherne Jean Cruz.
I love, at my direction. Well, she's the head of the DOJ, so yeah.
Yeah, you signed off on something that somebody was going to do anyway. Shut up.
Georgia Fort and Jamil Liddell Lundy in connection with the coordinated attack on City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota. More details soon. So she says it was at her direction. We've now learned that Lemon will be charged with conspiracy to deprive rights, interfering by force of someone's First Amendment. And those.
They keep ignoring the religious worship aspect of the First Amendment. The First Amendment lays out several things: free speech, right to assembly, right to redress grievance, and worship and press. It seems important to me to bring up the place of worship, because that's the problem here. If this pastor had come out of the church and they're like, hey, we heard you're with ICE, and they gave him shit, FACE doesn't apply. The fact that they did it in the church is what is the problem here.
Yeah, they interrupted services.
First Amendment rights. What do these charges suggest to you?
That somebody actually read the law.
So these are charges that I have indicted, but not frequently. No federal prosecutor uses these with frequency.
They don't use them with frequency because this kind of stuff doesn't often happen.
Especially the church part. It's usually abortion clinics.
Yeah, and I knew this was going to come up because I actually had a discussion with or an exchange, I should say, with Vance from LFR Families about this, where I knew this was coming, that they'd be like, this isn't even something they usually prosecute. Yes, they usually do prosecute this. It's just there's not many instances where they can prosecute this. That's if you don't prosecute many people for fucking a goat, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't prosecute the one guy you find fucking a goat, because most of us don't do that. See, even the cat's like, we don't fuck goats.
She wants to go up to the apartment and the door shut. So
this isn't a nonsensical thing. Look, there are laws that have like fallen off the books and don't get used very often, and the Trump administration has been good at using those. I mean, what the one act is from like the 1800s that they were getting illegals out with. So that is something you can bring up now and then. But this is one that was just a major case less than a year ago about this. Like, prosecutors don't often do this because they don't have the crime to do it. If you're in a city like my city, there's been one murder in the entire time I've lived here. You know how many prosecutions there have been for murder?
One?
None, because they still don't know who did that one.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's shitty police work there.
They're not like, hey, we got this murder law, we better arrest somebody for it or it'll fall off the books. That's not how laws work.
Oh, is it like that one case where the whole town got together and covered up the murder because the guy was a total asshole and everybody
No.
hated him?
There's actually some YouTube videos about the murder here. I'll send you one.
Oh, cool.
Because they require, in the case of the civil rights charge, a level of intent. In the case of the FACE Act,
Yeah, the intent is to interfere. That's all the intent required.
He's immune. He's a journalist, monkey. They're punishing him because he's gay and black.
She's trying to do this like the defamation thing where you have to prove that they knew it was false.
Yeah.
You have to show an intentional malice. No, you don't. You absolutely don't. All you have to show is that they intended to disrupt, which they did. I don't know what to tell you, you crazy bitch. Except your glasses are way too big for your disturbingly thin face.
Well, she's trying to hide her vagina neck, so.
violation, which applies to reproductive health care clinics as well as to religious spaces. It requires the use of force or intimidation.
You
No, it
don't think
doesn't.
those people were intimidated?
It doesn't require either of those things.
No.
It
But
absolutely doesn't. Don't make me
even-
bring it up again, bitch.
Even if it did, it's pretty obvious by the reaction of a lot of the parishioners. They were intimidated, and a couple of the kids there were clearly frightened. You got a mob of people breaking in, chanting random stuff. That you're going to make people uncomfortable.
Here, let's read it again, shall we? Thank you, Dangerous. We took a semester-long class called Media Law because journalists are subject to the same laws as everyone else. I hate these fucking media cunts. I'm with you, bro.
Yeah. I mean, ethically alone, legal stuff aside, his ethics should have stopped him from doing this. But he's
All right,
a
ready?
fucking idiot. Yeah.
Here it is. Here's the relevant part. By force, which is as far as she read, or threat of force, or by physical obstruction.
Monkey, are you honestly trying to infer that Don Lemon interfered with the services by going up and trying to interview the preacher during the service? Are you saying he was obstructive then?
I feel like he was physically obstructive. Yes, absolutely.
Well, never mind then.
And this is what I keep talking about with the laws, where these people that you have to, it has to be done by force. That's what this lawyer just said. That's not what the actual law says, though.
What, a lawyer lied to us? That's impossible.
Intentionally injures, intimidates, or interferes with, or attempts to intimidate, or interfere. There's a part of the video where Don Lemon says that the intent was to intimidate these folks? He doesn't use the word intimidation. I forget the word that he actually uses. But he actually says that was the intent. None of this exonerates him. If you actually read the law, this is why I keep using the term open and shut. It's spelled out in plain English. This isn't one of those laws where you have to be like, well, what did Congress mean when they said this? It's crystal clear English. But here, let's listen to the woman who actually gets paid to know what the law says and argue it. Tell us again what it says.
To religious spaces, it requires the use of force or intimidation.
That woman probably makes much more an hour than I make a month.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably both of us together, which, not that difficult.
By the way, if you'd like to put me on retainer, we can work that out.
Yeah, and feel free to give us all your money.
I'm not licensed to practice anywhere, but I'll help you more than the bitch like this will. Can you imagine this being his lawyer? I know it's not, but if his lawyer was there to, hey, you didn't use force and it requires force, it doesn't. You can't even read the fucking wording. This is why our system is so fucked up, because people like her get to argue law in front of people like you and me who don't have the law in front of us to know what the fuck is actually being said.
Yeah, that's why people don't like lawyers.
And let's just be clear about something. No jury will convict on these charges unless...
How many people are watching? We have 180 people watching right now. It only takes 12 to convict. Give me a 1 if you would convict Don Lemon on these charges. Wonder how many juries. No jury would convict. No. You can say no liberal jury, maybe. And even then, that's not true. I mean, I've watched enough true crime things where you think the guy's going to get off, and then they're like, nah, I had to. He broke the law.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, there are still some good people out there who will actually do their job and not be. Look at all those ones. We could get a whole bunch of juries together. We even got them over on Rumble, man.
Yeah, good.
No jury would convict. Do I think he's going to get convicted? No, because of where the jury pool is. Do I think it's out of the realm of possibility? Not at all. Absolutely could get convicted for this.
We've been surprised before.
It's that open and shut. You know, a lot of people, when they think about the legal system, they think of things like OJ, right?
Yeah.
And even in OJ's case, it wasn't that the defense did that good of a job. There was a lot of stuff that went into why they decided the way they did. And very little of it had to do with the evidence against OJ. If you watch enough of this stuff, our court system's not perfect, Jack. Of course not. But juries do tend to do the right thing. I'm not trying to give you guys any false hope that he'll get convicted. But let the press die down from this. We're talking about if it goes to trial, if he actually pushes all the way through a trial process, Jack, at least a year away.
Yeah.
The cameras are gone. Nobody's going to really give a shit about Don Lemon at that point unless something else happens. And the jury can do their job in peace. There's a good chance he gets convicted. Absolutely there is. But anyway, she said there's no chance of jury unless
there are unknown facts about the use of force in this setting.
I have an unknown fact for you, sweetheart. Here, let me show you again. Force isn't required.
Yeah. If they got his cell phone messages between himself and that woman that's in charge of the BLM stuff, he's going to get convicted because it'll show planning.
Yeah.
And it'll show that he was part of this and not an observer. And that's all it's going to take.
You were the one who sent me the indictment. Did you read it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is laid out. The case for conspiracy is open and shut as the actual criminal behavior inside the church.
Yep.
And 99% of it relies on Don's dumbass recording it all.
Yeah, because he's an idiot.
Yep.
I think the only way this actually sees the inside of a courtroom, other than a plea bargain arrangement, is the fact that he has a massive ego.
Yeah.
If he's smart, he'll work out a sweetheart deal and take it and run and do whatever community service or rehabilitation program they want him to do. So they'll give him a diversionary thing. If we're lucky, he'll get a little bit of jail time, but I doubt it.
Are these people TV lawyers? Yes. Because nobody wants them representing them. No, you have to understand, somebody like her, she knows she's lying. She absolutely knows she's lying. But she also knows that if she wants to come back on MSNBC, MS Now, that she has to tell them what they want to hear. She has to push the lie of it requires force. One, I would suggest that what happened here was forceful anyway. But even if you can't make that argument, there's no requirement for force.
Yeah.
So she just lies to the audience because they will listen to her and believe her.
Yeah,
And
they're not going to go look it up.
I guarantee you, if you go searching Facebook or Twitter or some social media, you will find at least one person repeating, there has to be force.
Yeah, I forget who it was. The guy that came up with the idea of the Dunning-Kruger effect before it was called Dunning-Kruger. He made I just watched a video on this. It was really good. He was talking about how ignorant people don't know that they're wrong because they can't even fathom the possibility of it being wrong.
Yeah.
You're stupid and ignorant, and that's a bad combination because you can be stupid and know things, but being stupid and not knowing really hurts you, and that's what they're pandering to here is people
Yes.
that just accept what they're told and run with it. They don't do any investigation. They don't even conceive of the possibility that they're being lied to, or that they could even be possibly wrong.
Yeah, I'll give you two examples from Twitter. One involving this case. I pointed out Don Lemon was arrested for his crimes. It's like, well, what crime? And so I just linked him the statute, like this one.
I just
And then-
posted a picture of Hassan electrocuting his dog.
Another one where
Funny.
Hassan was talking about how he's been privileged in life and he doesn't think that anybody else should just have to rely on luck to get ahead. And I called him a Nepo baby who LARPs as a poor. And the guy's like, when has he ever done that? Like, well, repeatedly.
Yeah.
Like,
Just watch more Pegasus. Pick a random episode. You'll probably find one.
I actually linked Pegasus to him.
Oh, nice.
Connect. Thank you. Don Lemon equals Tom from Boondocks if he went queer. I've still never seen the Boondocks. I'm familiar with them, but I've still never watched it.
I can't sit through that show. It's just not for me.
For me, it's the art style more than the content.
Yeah. I don't like anime and manga art.
Yeah.
It's just not it's just not for me. It's nothing against it. It's just not for me. There's a few of them I like, but the Boondocks just never caught my attention. And the whole weird Chris Hansen getting raped thing was a little much. Real quick though, thank you, Frosted Glass. I just thought of how we could conquer Greenland without anyone complaining. We hire one foreign mercenary to invade and send 50,000 of our soldiers equipped with microphones.
Yes.
Then they ask questions while shooting. We didn't invade. We're doing journalism.
We're just doing journalisms.
Yeah, I saw a really interesting video speaking of Greenland, which I think you should look up if you get bored. Apparently on a lot of really old maps from like the 16 to 1800s, they picture it as green with mountains, which everybody says Greenland's flat, so that's a thing. But there's a canal running through the center of Greenland. And I was like, if that's true, if there's like an old waterway and they could bust that open again, that would cut some shipping time down.
Sure.
But I just thought that was fascinating. So anyway, thank you, Frosted.
All right, back to Tard here.
So what this really is about is it's about intimidating the free press. It's about
I hate these people.
You should.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I know you've never listened to me, but for once, just shut up and listen. You're not special. You don't get to do things that other people don't get to do. You don't have a special right because you call yourself a journalist. Fuck it. You getting to call yourself a journalist doesn't even make you a journalist any more than it makes me one. I journal what you guys do. I report on you. I'm a reporter.
Yeah. It's been established that any citizen can be a journalist.
Yeah. Making it about the man, not the actions. Yeah. One, she lies to her audience about the law. She just lied straight up. I do not for a second believe that before she came on air, she didn't read the FACE Act. Is it possible? Sure. Is it likely? No. So she just lied to her audience, and she does it so now she can say it's just about intimidating the press. They said the same thing with like George Stephanopoulos getting sued. You can't violate civil laws either. And the one thing the press does get away with is actually defamation, because they get away with it all the time, Jack, because of the New York Times case, which is being challenged and should be shot down. That kind of special access that they get, or that we get, Jack, because we're journalists.
Oh, yeah.
Has led them to actually believe that they are special. You're not. You don't get to do this shit.
Well, they've gotten away with it for literally decades now. So they can make vague defamatory statements, sometimes not that vague. They can insert themselves in these protests and claim that they're just there to observe. But nobody's actually gone after these journalists that are doing this shit for decades.
Yep.
So of course they think that that's been passed down to them from the people that got away with it before them. They are that arrogant and conceited that they do believe they are some kind of special nobility class.
Not just a cat assassin, that is Phoebe. And I don't remember how this picture came to be, but I was looking for a picture of her tonight, and I do love this one because it makes me think of Dana floating above the bed in Ghostbusters, because it looks like she's floating. And she is often feral, so
there's no Phoebe, there's only Zool.
There's only Zool. All right, let's move on. Anything else you want to say about Don Lemon and this stupid shit?
Maybe. Hold on. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Something a lot of people are ignoring about the church incident is how they blocked parents from getting their children from the Sunday school. I don't know all the exact definitions about kidnapping, but it sounds close to it. I would say that is custodial interference as well.
That's what I was talking about with there's that, and there's also where people are trying to get out of the church and can't. That's mentioned in the indictment. They could have hit them with a lot more if they wanted to.
They still might.
They went for the most obvious. Yeah, they could have a superseding indictment on this.
Yep. I think it depends on how much assholes they are about this whole thing. Like, if you're a giant asshole in the media, like Don Lemon typically is, they'll just start stacking charges on.
And they might have not done that here, because in most cases they would have, because they knew optically this was going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to burp and yawn at the same time. Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's the worst.
They might have been like, okay, we'll go for the one that there's literally no question. This is cut and dry, and we'll leave that other shit. And if he fights back, and maybe they do hit him with that shit, because at the very least you have him on impeding, which you're not allowed to do.
Yeah. They know that the Christians aren't going to do much, though. And that's why they picked a Christian church to do this shit in. They went after this supposed ICE agent who's an assistant or associate pastor, allegedly. I still haven't seen any evidence that's accurate. But they went after them at church because they know that Christians tend to be a lot more passive than other religions, well, at least in the last few hundred years. they didn't go into like a Denny's or something and find somebody who has a part-time job as a waitress, because
Right.
they'd probably get their ass kicked.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of unlawful detainment, what the hell's her name? Hang on a sec. This is Rosie. Let's say Speedlin. Rosie Speedlin. She's the first openly gay judge in someplace in Texas. Where was it? Bexar County, Texas. And
Did I send you that one?
you did.
Okay, yeah, I was hoping I sent that to you. I forgot.
She has just been arrested, and she was arrested for what she did on the bench, which is rare.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of
So-
shitty judges out there for some reason.
Here's what happened. There's a defendant entering his plea, and she's over a court that deals with, I believe it's drug rehabilitation kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's entering his plea, and the lawyer says, excuse me, can I confer with my client for a second? Which apparently in this judge's courtroom, you're not allowed to confer with your client. She actually said to her, we don't allow attorneys to coach their clients.
You mean give them legal advice?
It's pronounced Bear County. Thank you. Okay. I'll forget that, but I do appreciate your attempt.
Grr.
As this is, she has the defense lawyer put in handcuffs and set in the jury box. Now, the lawyer was smart and just kept her mouth shut, and then immediately afterwards went down and filed criminal charges against her for wrongful imprisonment.
Yeah,
I forget the exact charge. It's not wrongful imprisonment, but basically wrongful imprisonment.
yeah, it's the whatever local equivalent of that is, or unlawful
And
detention or some bullshit.
Yeah, it's also specific because like if you or I did it to him, it'd be like kidnapping. But in this case, since it's a public official, it's got the weight behind it. So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, deprivation of rights under color of law is a very
That's it.
serious charge.
Yes. And this 60-year-old lesbian, don't forget, she's a lesbian, you guys. She's a lesbian.
She has pride flag in her courtroom.
She is not going to be intimidated into silence. She's pulling the
Right.
Don Lemon thing.
Yeah, she's not going to be intimidated into following the law.
You wouldn't let a lawyer confer with their client,
Yeah.
and then you put them in cuffs and set them in the box. There's nothing about any speech or anything, or you being intimidated. You really should go read their statement. I had to look it up and find the article, which I didn't bring up for the show. She makes it seem like she's being targeted for something here. You're being targeted for kidnapping a lady.
Yeah, she's claiming that it's because there were complaints about her pride paraphernalia.
Yeah, it's not that. She's also wearing the markings of. Is she wearing a Mexico thing?
I don't remember what that is. I think it is though. But yeah, she's got a bunch of like pride memorabilia throughout her courtroom apparently.
Which shouldn't be allowed because that is a political statement.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be unbiased.
Yeah. Isn't that a political flag? Yes, Evolved, you and me are in the same. Yeah, that is a political flag, and she should not be flying it in the courtroom.
I hope she gets disbarred because this is disgusting.
Oh.
Judges way too often abuse their power and get away with it.
I hope she goes to prison. And I mean
Where
that
she
sincerely
belongs.
because she basically kidnapped somebody
Yeah,
for trying to
doing their
do their job.
Yeah, it's insane. You can't confer with your clients and tell them what to say. Fuck off. That's
Yeah.
kind of their job.
You ever hear them when they're given on advice of counsel, I'm exercising my Fifth Amendment right. Hey, no, your counsel can't give you advice on that. Oh God,
It's
I just
ridiculous. I do hope she is disbarred and thrown in jail for a while, because this kind of activism is dangerous for a judge.
Well, the weird part about it is there was no reason for her to do this.
Oh, it's just a flex authority.
Yeah.
I have power and you don't. And you will respect my authority.
She could have even been like, she could have denied the chance to argue or give counsel, which, by the way, you just set this guy up for a wonderful appeal.
Oh, absolutely.
Typically, you can't appeal a plea, but really?
Yeah, the worst part is that whatever the guy did, he probably did it. Let's be honest. But
Sure.
But now the prosecutor's going to hesitate to refile those charges because this will come up.
Yeah, this is just, it is a retarded exercise of power. And you see this now and then with people who get a little taste of power and suddenly it goes to their head.
Yeah.
And yeah, it ends up typically biting him in the ass.
As it should.
Speaking of ass,
oh, Don Lemon again? Oh no. Oh God, yeah, this.
We have our problematic person here. Let's count them down. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Or maybe that was just 1, so we'll just give her 3. 3 warning signs so far, but if you look really close, you can actually find 5, 6, 7, and 8 where she's got herpes scabs on her chin.
Gross.
I'm just, guys, don't only look for warning signs on the nose and the face or the, piercings. No. If they've got open herpes sores on their face, stay away.
The Bo Howard haircut kind of does a lot of that for you,
I've seen this on some women, and I don't know why.
It's some kind of trend with the they thems.
Well, I've seen models do this before, and certain models will become really big and they'll have their hair cut like this. And I don't know why nobody tells them how bad it looks. Bangs can look fine, but not like that.
Because women are catty creatures who want to bring down their competition. So
Yeah, I
they're going to be
guess.
like, yeah, do that. That looks great. Idiot.
But for the record, herpes scars and all, that's not the worst of this lady.
No, she's going to talk too.
If the government wants to use biowarfare on us, we can use it on them too.
You probably don't want to test that in court. What she's talking about with biowarfare is pepper spray. Maybe she's talking about tear gas, which I really haven't seen used much here. Most of it
there's
pepper spray.
Yeah, it's mostly pepper spray or the capsaicin bear spray, but the peppers or the tear gas has been deployed in Portland, but they're always deploying that shit. They must have some sort of stock in it.
Thank you, Darth Mondo. How the fuck is JFG in the Epstein files? I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it. JFG.
JF Garapi's in the Epstein files.
He's probably in the Epstein files the same reason George Bush Sr. is, because a crazy person called in and went, he raped me.
No, JF actually sent emails to Epstein. I tweeted the link out.
Oh, you know what? We knew that he had been in contact with Garapi or with Epstein. He had talked about it before.
Yeah, a long time ago. It's just one of those things that you forget about.
Yeah.
Because you try not to think about JF murdering a potato.
Who Jean-Francois Garapi, he blew up with the alt-right nonsense of the 2017 movement. He was part of the racist group who, I'm not actually racist, although I don't know if he ever claimed not to be. A weird French Canadian who likes to bang retards, who married a chick and she disappeared, and he's like, I don't know where she went.
She's in the woods. She's an expert outdoorsman monkey.
He got a lot of attention in the Kraut and T drama because he laughed at Kraut saying that something about the way trout have babies. I don't remember.
Yeah, they gestate them in their bellies like women because they're fish are mammals,
And JF Garapi got a lot because he was right on that one topic, and people didn't pay attention to the fact that he's a douchebag moron. Just saying. Anyway, back to our weirdo here.
Do not let your pee go to waste. Do not let your tampons go to waste.
You realize they're literally waste, right? Like, urine is waste. It is your body expelling waste. Don't let it go to waste. It already is waste, you fucking weirdo.
You have to save it in a jar, monkey.
Do not let that blood.
I want to put this out there. Do not throw urine, tampons, or anything else that's biological hazards at anyone. Anyone. Don't do it.
No, there's special crimes for that.
Yes, there is.
that you collect in your disc go to waste.
That part got me. She's a free. I got the little menstrual cup.
Yeah, it's not free bleeding. It's the cups.
When it spills, it's free bleeding.
I remember when I first became aware of those. I was working
so
the
gross.
HBA department at Walmart, and I'm not one of those guys who gets like, "Oh my god, tampons!" Like, they're tampons. Women have to use them. It's just a fact of life. And then I came across the cups one day, stocking something behind them because literally nobody buys those things because they're fucking gross. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, instead of using a tampon or a pad, it's basically a tiny condom that goes over your cervix to hold all the blood in. It's very dangerous because that blood is supposed to be expelled. And if you don't take care of it right, you are susceptible to things like toxic shock. But in order to get it out, you have to reach up inside yourself and pop the little thing off so all the blood can drain like you're letting out your oil for a change. And one of their selling points is this was thought up by a woman. Same thing with the what's the brand that doesn't have an applicator? I forget I think it's OB. It's a tampon that doesn't have an applicator, so it just looks like a tiny cotton bullet.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever tried to shove cotton into something. The reason they use a plastic or a cardboard applicator is to make sliding it in easier. Because just ramming cotton up into yourself is uncomfortable. But women came up with it. So go ahead and get gross or painful because, hey, women did it instead of men.
I think it was just a way to rip the consumer off because you used to get a mousy and a telescope. Now they're taking the telescope away.
Yeah. The things that women come up with, so because they want to, hey, men thought of that other thing. So here's this thing we came up with. Never cease to amaze me.
Men.
Like you came up with a thing where literally you have to pull out a little, let's call it what it is, a plug, so that blood immediately just starts running down your fingers. Yeah, that's much more hygienic.
Yeah. Why would you save that? Why would you save waste? That is so gross. That is some like next level serial killer shit. Like those guys that store their own sperm in little jars in their refrigerator kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are insane and really gross on top of that. Weirdo.
Yeah, there's a reason that stuff starts to stink.
Yeah, you're supposed to avoid it.
Yeah, it's waste.
These are closet fetishists.
What's fucked up is OB is what they gave us girls in school. What?
Oh, they probably got a deal on it.
Oh, that's so fucked up. That's mean.
They don't like you guys.
The girls in our school just got regular Tampax. I know one girl, we're getting ready to leave class one day and everybody gets up, but she doesn't. She just sits there. And being the young man that I am, and even was then, I realized what was going on. And I told her not to worry about it because she was mortified, of course.
Yeah. Well, who won't be?
It happens. It's shit. Our bodies betray us all the time, man. Trust me, I know. But yeah, they snuck her one, and it wasn't done very sneakily. It was just a regular Tampax. And she was mortified. I'm like, don't worry about it. I know periods happen. I had a mom.
Yeah.
If you're on that next level of nasty,
You know I am. Oh, wait.
Bitch, I didn't need you to tell. You have herpes on your face.
And you're talking about collecting fecal or pee and menstrual fluid. You're gross, all right? She's gross.
don't let your shit go to waste.
Not a euphemism.
You know, most of the shit flingers we keep in zoos. And I'm not saying we need to put this person in a zoo, but an asylum would be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're pooping in mason jars, you've failed somewhere in life and you need to get professional help. Okay. Don't salvage your poop and pee and
I'm gonna argue that saving your menstrual blood is probably grosser than saving your shit.
I think they're all pretty on par, honestly.
Well,
this is gross.
Urine at least has ammonia in it. So there's
it's sterile.
Yeah, it's sterile. Period blood and shit are not sterile at all.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. In fact, one of the best ways to find out what kind of bug is ailing you is to look at your shit, because all of the telltale signs are in there.
Yeah. Now, the only good thing that could come from this is if they try to do this and try to do some biowarfare, not only would they get charged, but there's a good possibility there'd be a dysentery outbreak.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. This lady right here should be brought up on charges for
bioterrorism.
Terrorism, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick. Thank you, Comrade Kitty. Reminds me of a convo. A chick said the government should give out free tampons. I said, you should think you're going to get anything but the cardboard tampons. You're crazy. Yeah, you're going to get the lowest end recycled newspaper kind of thing where you can still read the words from the newspaper on it.
Sure, yeah.
It's probably littered with toxic shock syndrome. You know, it's going to be a problem. So, yeah, anything the government does is lowest cost way of doing things. Also, thank you, Darth Mando. So Monkey said to the girl, don't worry. Then he hit her in the head with a shovel and said, you can blame the bleeding on that.
For the record, the girl I hit in the head with a shovel didn't bleed. And she loved me. So, ha! I love that she just gives us some blank FaceTime there after she says, save your shit.
Yeah, that smug look of like, I thought of something.
Who is this weirdness for? Like,
well,
Jack, if I came up with this idea, right?
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I should send that into the world, I would be afraid of the kind of people who are like, that's a great idea.
Well, look at what Antifa's composed of. It's the weirdos, the misfits, the outcasts. There's probably a bunch of fecal fetishists who already have jars of their poop in their freezer.
Probably.
You know, they're saving their children kind of thing. It wouldn't surprise me at all. So this is the type of stuff I expect from these degenerate morons that are in Antifa or related organizations. It's not strictly limited to Antifa, but, you know, the majority of the weirdos we've seen have been in Antifa. But they're social pariahs. So, of course, there's going to be somebody that's advocating for saving their gross-ass fluids that they already do.
I hear you, but there's social pariahs, and then there's the kind of people who save their shit and period blood to throw at others.
The Germans, Frosted. You're not wrong.
I mean, you're not wrong. That doesn't really help, though. She loved me, but she did. She did. I'm just saying.
She loved a lot more after that TBI I gave her.
She was fine. Amy, if you're out there, I'm still not sorry I did it. You moved when I told you not to.
I mean, yeah, it's the Don Lemon effect. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's just a lot of freakos and sickos out there.
Oh, you know what? Before we get to this, well, I'll leave it on the screen. Somebody mentioned Bering in chat. Did you see Bering's latest video?
Oh, about the pooftas?
The poofters, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see it. It's in my queue. It's actually on my screen right now on my TV.
Sorry, I'm going to ruin part of it for you. So in
yeah.
Australia, there is a manhunt underway for a man who was running through a park who said to other guys, "You poofters need to leave this park."
Yeah, I saw that clip going around.
Well, the thing is, when the news is reporting on it, they're looking for him because he did this hate crime. They say poofters on TV.
Yeah. They say it like twice, don't they?
And my brain just went, wait a minute. You can be arrested for something you can say on TV?
Apparently. I don't. That's not even like the worst slur you could use for gay people. That's an old one. That's got to be a dude in at least his 50s, because who still says that?
The Australians. It's not. It's a word. I mean, I've heard it from Brits too.
Yeah, I always remember it from Are You Being Served, where they were calling Mr. Humphreys a poof. But yeah, it's not even that mean of a word. It's kind of a silly, goofy word that, I mean, you're offended by that? Pussy.
I just love that we're at a place where there's a Western civilization where you can be arrested for a word when you can say it on TV.
To be fair, they're only really Western in name right now because they're quickly spiraling into caliphates. I mean, did you see the UK recognize Sharia law the other day in one of their court hearings?
No. The way you guys say poofter is kind of funny. Have you heard the way you guys say Melbourne?
Or aluminum?
All right, this was sent to me. You guys can't see it because our pictures are in the way, but the comment here is from Matt Jarbo. He was apparently watching. It's not Review Tech anymore. Is it? I thought he killed his Review Tech channel. I forget what channel
he tried to bring it back as Review Tech USA or something like that, and then he killed that and changed it again. So it could be anything.
This is Rich
Jarbo's watching this retard is that's
it actually makes a lot more sense because this is about Jarbo's level, honestly.
Yeah,
that's true. Tied directly to the algorithm. You know what's funny? I was just talking about this the other day, Matt Jarbo.
What Matt said was, what destroyed me was the onslaught on my channel. It was the attack on the average watch time that ultimately killed it in the algorithm. And what he's talking about here is all of the people who used to go over to his channel, no matter what he posted, and just leave a comment, boulder, something, whatever. And on YouTube, it is actually really important that for the algorithm, if you watch a video, how long you watch it. And if YouTube pushes you to watch more and more, because the longer you're on their platform, the more chance there is of you spending money based on their platform, which is how they get paid. So they want you to stay here on YouTube as long as possible. So if you have one video that is 3 hours long and somebody only watches a minute of it, the algorithm looks at that and goes, oh, people don't like this. It's better to have a 15-minute video that people watch from start to finish, everybody who clicks on it, than to have a 3-hour video where people watch 15 minutes of it.
Yeah. Well, and it also depends if they've watched ads or anything like that. Jarbo's problem is that he gets lots of comments. And sure, they're negative, but that helps. But he's not interesting. So it's not hate watchers watching you for 10 minutes, Matt. It's people coming and saying, oh, you're boring, and then leaving.
There's a little truth to what he says here, but no, what killed his channel, what destroyed him, is that he was bad at content and showed himself to be a liar.
Yeah, and a scumbag.
And he tried to do it against people who at the time, I mean, this was their bread and butter, was destroying people.
Yeah. And let's face it, he was up against people that were smarter than him.
Well, sure. He did not help himself at all, though.
No, he's nuts. He makes poor life choices.
But I am going to agree with some stuff that these two say.
And people still lost their minds, but they could suck my dick. Everyone who made a big deal about your fucking flagging history should literally grovel at your knees and apologize to you.
Fuck
Hey,
off,
Rich,
dickers.
he told a black man that he gets his thoughts from a white man, just for the record.
Yeah.
I know you're a little lefty, so what do you think about that? You know, I'm gonna let it play just a little bit more.
We'd beg for your fucking forgiveness.
Fuck that.
Because they're all of them are the biggest crybaby bitch flaggers on the planet.
You said I'm going to let it play just a little bit more. And 1 second later, you pause it to go, fuck that.
I didn't pause it. That was Rich taking a pause. I did not pause that.
Wow, that's horrifying. You left that much dead air there.
Yeah, that was not me. I see why you thought it was, though. One, yes, a lot of the people who got mad about it were flaggers themselves.
Yeah.
But you have to also realize Matt did not have to join that call.
No.
Matt did all of that shit to himself. He didn't have to pull up his stuff. He could have said, hey, my kid's crying. I got to go get him. Or my wife's kid, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
There were so many ways to avoid what happened there. I have no problem with Matt reporting those people. I know that, what? I wouldn't have done it. But if you look at what they were saying and doing, yes, they absolutely were violating the terms of service. It's more of a faux pas than actually being like some kind of crime. A lot of the shit that they were saying about Matt was against terms of service.
Yeah.
My problem was with him lying about it.
Yeah, because the cover-up was worse than the crime.
Yeah.
He could have been like, look, they were stealing my content. They were using it inappropriately against terms of service, which would have been accurate. But why would you get on there and talk to these people?
He did admit to the flagging for the copyright infringement. I'm talking about just the community guidelines part, for the record.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were saying some awful shit about him, which, again, thank you, Ethan Klein, for changing those rules for us, you dick. But if he had just come out and go, of course I did. These guys are violating terms of service.
Yeah, either own it or keep your mouth shut.
I would still have disagreed with him doing it because be a fucking man.
Yeah, well, I mean, he can't. He's a potato.
But it was him lying about it and him trying to play the free speech card when he's trying to keep people from just calling him a fat retard.
Yeah. Well, he's a thin-skinned pussy who can't take criticism, which you can't do that in this field. If you're a streamer, you have to be able to take criticism.
You can. There's tons of people like that.
Yeah, it doesn't really work very well.
The other day, when Undoomed was on, I mentioned Internet Anarchist.
Yeah.
And he mentioned the plagiarism thing about him. And I went and looked it up because I heard whispers, but I hadn't really looked. Yeah, that dude's a plagiarist. And you know what he did? He just kept his fucking mouth shut. There's tons of videos out there about him.
Yeah.
He's still doing just fine.
Yeah, because look, there's always going to be new people coming in. And if they can search and see you whining and moaning about being called a name, dude, you're not gonna last in this. You can't be a pussy. You can't be a thin-skinned little crybaby.
You can. You just can't do it online. You have to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You can't publicly air that out. That's why this guy's a fucking joke. That's why Jarbo's a joke, because people know that it gets to them, because they whine about it constantly, and then more people are going to do it because they know it gets to you.
Well, Internet Anarchist did come out in the original video by, was it Mr. Snowball? Is that his name?
Oh, yeah.
He responded to that video. It clearly, hit him, but he was smart enough that he shut the fuck up about it. He gave his little bullshit statement where he said, no, actually it was only one time and it was this guy who worked for me. No, it wasn't. You're a liar. And his plagiarism is actually the dirtier kind, because where they find actual word for word scripting, it's usually a quote from somebody else. Like they'll be talking about a story and like, and then his mom said, and then they'll do the quote and they're like, see, that's plagiarism. That part's not plagiarism. They're both just using a quote. That's how quotes work.
What?
The plagiarism actually comes in, it's more insidious. He finds a video that's doing well or sounds like it could do well, and then just steals the whole concept for it from start to end. And he does the old school thing, put this in your words.
Yeah.
And so like instead of enemies, he might change it to opponents. Like it's still the same thing, dickhead.
Yeah, you're still being a douchebag.
But he was smart enough to keep his fucking mouth shut, and Jarbo wasn't. Jarbo, if he was smart, wouldn't have watched. If you're that thin-skinned, don't watch the criticism of you. Be a Hassan. You talk about a thin-skinned pussy, Hassan.
Yeah, yeah.
And he doesn't watch the criticism of him because he knows what a little bitch he is.
Yeah, because he freaks out on his audience when he gets any pushback at all.
I've enjoyed the criticisms I've got. It mostly makes me laugh because the people are wrong, but other than that, it's funny.
Well, and most people aren't very good at it, let's be honest.
All of them, every single one, is significantly worse. Not saying they were actually terrible people. Oh man. Anyway,
Many of them were. I mean, in fairness, of the ones who were on stream, but you can't say that about all the people who were watching.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not saying that you didn't make.
And I want to give Jarbo just a little credit here because he says them being worse doesn't change the fact that I made a mistake.
Yeah, at least he owns up to it now.
Yep. I mean, it's no matter. There were a lot of mistakes there, Matt.
Yeah. And to be fair, it is really difficult to admit you made a mistake. For a lot of people, that is very, very difficult. But it takes a lot of guts to say, I screwed up.
And this is why I want to give him some credit here because Rich is trying to let him off the hook here. And he's like, no,
Yeah.
I fucked up. And he did. Which
Yeah.
is true.
Well, and Rich is also trying to self-justify some of his behaviors that way.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Because if Matt didn't do anything wrong, then he couldn't have possibly done anything wrong. And I guarantee you, Dickers thinks he's better than everybody, including Jarbo, which most people are better than Jarbo, so not a reach.
For the record, we keep calling him Rich, and he just called him Dickers. That is lore from Review Tech. So if you hear us say Dickers, we're still talking about the fat guy in the middle of the screen there.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. That's just one of those inside baseball things where we got to just for the people watching along.
I like it how there's Rich talking to a quote from Jarbo, and in the background you got DSP.
Yeah.
Like we're a quartering away from having like the ultimate conflagration of lol cows.
Make a mistake. Okay. I mean, I'm sure there was a decent portion of them that were justified, but you shouldn't have been destroyed like that.
No, he deserved what he got. I do wish people would have been more honest, because especially when it came to the copyright claim, Matt was fully in the right on that.
Yeah.
I don't care if you like Matt or not. He was fully in the right. All they did is re-upload his video.
And there are still people going and giving him shit in the comments of his even like that true crime channel he's got. So I think it's kind of run its course, guys. Let it go.
Yeah, his biggest problem wasn't them. It was how bad his content was.
Yeah, that's always been his problem. And same thing with quartering.
His takes were shit.
Well, yeah, but because he's not real smart.
No, yeah. So I don't want to put it all just on his delivery. It was a lot of it was what he was delivering. It was just bad content.
That should have been a fucking nothing burger.
The guy getting exposed for lying about the free speech warrior getting exposed for lying about flagging people for being mean to him should have been a nothing burger. I mean, if you're talking compared to like the war in Uganda, sure. But when it comes to your reputation as somebody who's giving people news and your opinion on the news, it doesn't get much more indicting than that.
Yeah.
I'm for free speech as long as it's me. Remember, Jarbo doesn't have a career at all if Zoe Quinn doesn't hit him with a strike.
Yeah, this is all Zoe Quinn's fault.
Without that, and it was a wrongful strike. And without that, and without Jim, he never gets famous.
Yeah.
Because he was boring as shit.
Jim even said this is one of the biggest regrets he has on the internet.
Somebody asked why he's got 2 chickens on there. There's nothing Rich likes more than having cock by his face.
Maybe like a couple months worth of drama. You know what I'm saying? Especially,
Well, it was only a couple of months. Or it was actually less than that. It was like a month worth of Matt drama. And then everybody moved on to the next drama. Yes, there were still tons of people anytime he would upload that would go tell him to fuck himself. But that's tons of people compared to the amount of comments we get, Jack. He'd have like 30 comments. It's not like 5,000 people showed up every time he made a video to tell him to go fuck himself.
But, and again, even negative comments help you in the algorithm.
Yep.
Because they look at how many comments. Those people were inadvertently boosting Matt.
And again, at the same time, if they weren't watching the content, pulling it down but with the watch time. So
yeah, it kind of is a trade-off, though. They're kind of evening out their own act there.
If Matt had been entertaining, he could have used that time to even grow his channel. Many people have done that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
especially now seeing that there's no honor amongst thieves with them, and they're the
I don't know what honor among thieves would have to do with anything in the situation.
Sounded cool.
biggest flagging pussies on the planet. Oh God.
You really want to go there, Rich?
Yeah, you really want to open that can of worms, dude.
Mikey's gonna have something to say about this one.
Oh man. Anyway, sorry. I mean, hey,
this says, at the end of the day, I currently work a job that I really liked, and I make more than I did on YouTube. My granddaughter doesn't have a job at all and makes more than you do on YouTube, dude.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
You used to make a lot more. I guarantee you don't have a job that makes more than you did at your height.
man, it worked out.
You wouldn't have time to be on here talking to Rich.
True.
Out for you, and I'm glad, but it doesn't take away from what I said. I'm not.
No, it takes away from what you said is that you're just wrong about all of it because you're fat and stupid. And what you're actually doing is using Matt as a proxy for how people treat you.
Yeah.
Be a man about this shit. Just admit it. It upsets you how people treat you. I'm just saying. You know, Hassan just got kicked off of Twitch for a week.
He got a vacation.
For violating a rule that was put in place to help him, which is my favorite part of it.
The irony was staggering, and he's too stupid to realize it.
Yeah, they put in a rule that it couldn't just be any random insults to the Jews, sorry, Israelis, but if you specifically call them like a Israeli pig, which Hassan hadn't done until recently, and his dumbass violated that rule. And it's funny to me, Jack. I think he should be allowed to say it, and people should be allowed to point it out and laugh and stuff, but these are the rules that the powers that be decided. We have to be nice to people sometimes and blah, blah, blah. But I still wouldn't respect Hassan, but if he would just be a man and come out and say, no, every time I've said Israel, I meant Jew, I could at least respect that part of it and being honest.
Yeah, but he's
But he
too much
won't.
of a pussy for that.
And we see this with all kinds of people where they just won't be honest. Just be honest. How do you know it's Jews? Well, because I've seen enough of his content to know that Israel is absolutely a code for Jew for him.
Yeah.
And same thing with Fuentes. I fucking hate that piece of shit. But he could just come out and say, the only black guy I've ever liked was when Kanye was banging me. If he'd just come out and say he doesn't like Jews, just be honest, dude. I know it's Israel. Hassan taught me to say Israel. Just be honest. I mean, yeah, you'll get more pushback for it because the morons that follow you now actually believe that you don't hate Jews because they're morons. But at least you'd have some credibility, right? Just be honest. Be honest in life, guys. It's a much better way to be, I promise you. And then that way, you don't have to worry about people guessing your motives when you're just honest about it from the start. Smug motherfucker, he parties with the Tate Bros. Oh my God. So did you see all the stuff going on over that party in Miami where they played Kanye's Heil Hitler?
I saw a little bit of it, and those people are all dumb.
Here, let's talk about another guy who lies instead of just being honest. Andy. So Andrew Tate came out and blamed the whole thing on Sneeko.
Oh, I'm shocked.
So there's this party at a club in Miami. Somebody asks for them to play Heil Hitler by Kanye. It blows up on social media, and Andrew Tate, who's trying to clean up his image, from charges, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, numerous charges.
He's trying to go more mainstream, and he comes, I can't believe, look, Sneeko did that. It was all Sneeko. I'm not throwing, he actually says this, I'm not going to throw him under the bus, but it was all Sneeko. And he even says, I wouldn't request that. I don't like that song. There's a video from him a year ago jumping into his Bugatti, and when he turns on the car, you know what song is playing?
Is it this song?
Yeah, it's Heil Hitler, which, by the way, doesn't play on the radio.
No.
That motherfucker had to have it queued up. But he's like, I don't even like that song.
Now, in some countries, because I know he lives overseas in Romania, but in some of the
No, he's in the U.S. right now, isn't he?
I don't know.
He was at that club in Miami.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything, though. But when he was living in Romania, it was probably when he played that song in his Bugatti. My point being that in some places, that sort of song is illegal.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So you have to be kind of careful where you do this sort of shit.
Yeah, I don't know where he was with his car. I want to say that there was something in the video that made me think U.S., whether architecture or something like that. But anyway.
Well, he was probably in the U.S. for this, but he comes and goes quite a bit for some reason.
Instead of him just being honest and going, yeah, I like that song. He's like, no, what? I can't believe he played that. I hate that kind of messaging. But here's jumping in my $200,000 car, speeding off with it blaring.
Yeah. Well, he's a piece of shit. So,
but yeah, so the whole group has gotten together to basically blacklist Sneeko. Which is funny. Sneeko, you dumb. Look, Sneeko, I'm gonna be honest. I think Sneeko is a lost soul. There was a time when it seemed like he was kind of coming around to being an intelligent young man, where he was starting to use his actual brain, and then he started hanging out with the same stupid people, and he's desperate for a father figure.
Yeah, he really wants attention, and he really needs to go to therapy.
It's sad. He's one of those ones where I really just think it's sad, because if he had a good role model, I think he could be a decent young man. And instead, his role models are people like Tate, who, how the fuck did you not get that the alleged human trafficker wasn't just using you for his own ends?
Right.
What part of who Andrew Tate is made you think we homies for life?
Maybe they were
Anyhow.
both big pimping.
There's big pimping. Yeah, that's gonna wrap this one up. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming and hanging out with us today. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so very kind to us. Jack, anything on the show?
I haven't finished anything. I got a bunch of stuff started, so nothing to shill tonight. But thank you guys for the tips, and thanks for all the support you give us. Thanks for coming out and watching the show. You guys are awesome.
Did some game streaming earlier. There's a new series started. We've been playing 7 Days to Die, and we made a mistake when we set up the server. We set it up so we were getting XP 3 times faster, and by we I mean Satsu. I'm throwing him under the bus because he did it. He set up the server. Can't blame me for that shit. I wasn't even there when he set it up. But because of the way the game works, Jack, we ended up with enemies way too powerful for us to fight because we leveled up, but our gear didn't.
Oh, that's not good.
And the enemies leveled up. And
That's
it just
very not good.
it got unplayable, so we started a brand new one. There are 2 separate streams over there if you want to check them out. Check out 2 Cents Plus if you want to see Satsu's side of the play. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, and hope you enjoy it. Jack, a pleasure as always, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Guys, take care of yourselves. We love you. We'll see you next time. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
You noob, bite me. I was going to sing. You guys don't get a song now because he called me a noob.